Hello, welcome to the first round of top 10 brand new cards from Brothers War. And let's kick this thing off with honorable mentions. Lower end of the third path, if you happen to be in white and you're not in green, because if you're in green and white, you're going to be playing Knight of Autumn. It's better than this. If you're in green, you're going to play Reclamation Sage, but it's kind of boring, so I didn't want to put this in the top 10, but it is a card that you will play. Mishra, I'm not exactly sure where he's going to fit in, if he is even Pioneer Constructible playable, but he is a very sweet against the odds style card. I'm going to try him. I'm trying to assemble his backside. But for a meld, he still seems pretty plausible that you could accomplish it. Urza's Silax is kind of sweet. It basically wraps everything but 6 lands each from each player. And it exiles, so I don't know if a mono white devotion could ever come up in Pioneer. And if there is, and you're playing Karn, this could be a sweet sideboard piece for you. And Status Coffin, also, it could be a potential Karn sideboard piece, but I don't think it's better than the ones we're going to talk about a little later. But protection, you gaining protection from everything, so you could basically stall out a huge attack, bolts, anything. So it could be fine, and it exiles itself, so it works well with Karn. Hello, it's your host KebbieG. Don't forget to subscribe, hit that like button, also the bell notifications. Don't forget to check out the sweet stuff that's down in the description down below. Now, number 10 on our list, we have Gix Yawgmoth's Praetor. Now, I see this more as a top end for a mono black aggro list, because overall you kind of want to be attacking in the first few turns with this card based on how it's worded. I mean, you definitely want to play a 1-drop, play a 2-drop, attack with both turn 3, play him before your combat, of course, and you draw a couple cards. That's kind of what you want to be doing with aggro. So I see him for that reason. In late game, he kind of has his own, discard X cards, your lands. But with aggro, you should never get to that point of the game. I really like it for the top clause. And he's an okay stat creature. 3 mana, 3/3. That's fine rate. Number 9 on our list. We've been asking for a Maelstrom Pulse. It's not exactly that. It does exile. That's a huge bonus. But for the most part, it's going to be a 1-for-1 removal spell. Unless, like a very popular card in Pioneer is Fable and the Mirror Breaker. If you have 2 of them, both on the backside, you could just copy 1, 1, 1 back and forth until eventually you have X, amount of copies based on how many lands you have. This could definitely remove all of the copies. So that is one use case that this might be actually as good as a Pulse, but they get to keep one of the KebbieG keys, but that's okay. If tokens ever do become a huge thing, this is also a decent removal spell for that. So it has utility in the future of Pioneer that is forever going to be growing and changing its power. So I'm super excited about Legions to Ashes to be a part of the format. Number 8 on our list are a couple of cards that I think are immediately going to be put into Karn sideboards. We have the Stone Brain, which you basically pay 2, play it, pay 2, exile it. That's important with Karn. And then you basically get to name anything. You exile 4 copies from their hand, graveyard, library. So that's pretty sweet overall. It basically gives you access to a repeatable, Necromentia for Karn-based strategies. And them drawing a card is fine overall. But now Cityscape Leveler, I think, is immediately going to flow right in. A lot of mono green decks with Karn play Meteor Golem. So if you're playing Meteor Golem, you should just play this card instead. It's a much bigger body, it has trample, so it's a threat on its own instead of a 3/3. And it has that same blow up something on attack. So it has an ETB and an attack trigger, which is really awesome. I shouldn't say ETB because It's cast, not ETB. But it's still a great replacement for your meteor golems. Number 7 on our list, we have Razor Lash Transmogrit. This card's going to show up in zombies. Potentially the most, right? Is definitely probably going to show up in zombies and Pioneer because we don't really have access to Gravecrawler. Now, it might show up a couple copies in Modern for additional copies of Gravecrawler, which I think could push this card to being a legit thing. I don't think it's going to show up outside of zombies because of Underdog. I think Underdog is a better card than this most of the time because you want to be able to draw a card. Losing 2 life is irrelevant, and it's the same, close to the same body, I guess. This could be a 4-2 versus a 3-2, but I'd rather play Tenacious Underdog 100% of the time if you're not in zombies. Number 6 on our list is a bomb 3-drop. Now, Anger of the Gods has been the premier 3-drop red sweeper. This, I think, is directly going to replace it because not only does it get creatures, it gets planeswalkers. Not only that, you could also blow up all artifacts. So if artifacts become a huge thing in Pioneer or Modern, this might be your go-to, right? It gets rid of all those constructs, so that's kind of sweet. In Modern, it definitely has utility to see play over all other 3-drop red sweepers. So I really like this card. It's going to show up in a lot of sideboards to the end of time until they print a better one of these. Number 5 on our list. This could be argued as the number 1, but the last few I feel like I've always put the reprint on number 1, whether it be Thalia, Liliana. I wanted to mix it up. So even though Diabolic Intent could very easily be number 1, because it is such a busted card, so strong, I think it's definitely going to see play in Pioneer, in Modern. If you're a combo-based strategy, this is lights out. This works quite well with the Rat that's also in this new set and Stitcher Supplier. So there's so much utility for this card. I really like it for the format. I shouldn't say that because it very well could break many things about this format. So I shouldn't say I like it, but it's going to be good enough and strong enough to see consistent play in Pioneer and Modern. Number 4 on our list is a card that I think if Bard class can come back into and push its way into Pioneer, this could be the foundation of the starting going forward. 3 mana, 3/3. You sacrifice it. All legendary creatures you control get a +1 and 0 and gain indestructible. So it's good against blue-white control. So that way you get to protect your board from a Spring Verdict. It's free. 3 mana, a free 3/3 with Bard classes sounds awesome. It's also a soldier, which I don't think is really going to matter because there's probably not going to be a Gruul soldier tribe. But I love this on so many accounts. So if Bard class becomes a mainstream deck again, it very well could be because of this card right here. Expect Bard class to be featured next season. Number 3 on our list, and the best of the meld cycle, because the opportunity cost is very low compared to the other ones. It's not going to be it's going to be very unheard of that someone actually will, I guess, feel to ruin the Argoth, but it's basically always going to be there. It's more about, can you do Titania's mill 4 lands to meld this to a unbelievable backside of a threat? I think this card has potential to be a player in a new style of deck into Pioneer. Does it see Modern play? Potentially. It's a 3/4 with reach that gets huge on the backside. Is that enough to be a Modern playable card? Could be. Like I said, because of DRC being a number 1 threat, this blocks Ledger Shredder for a few turns before, of course, it connives multiple times and it becomes a 4/6. So it has the potential of at least negating a lot of damage early in the game and eventually becoming the threat that you really want from a green deck. So if a milled card does become a staple of Pioneer and Modern, it from the set, it's going to most likely be this one. Number 2 on our list, we have Phyrexian Flesh Gorger. Now, I love the fact that this card is scalable. 7 mana, 7/5 is kind of expensive, but if somehow you have a Black Devotion style list, this could show up and you play it for the 7, a 7/5 minutes lifelink ward, pay 7. I even love the 3/3 on this, right? It's a very good 3/3. It's a 3 mana 3/3 with menace lifelink, and they have to pay 3 to kill it. So it's very good early in the mid range. It's very good in the late game. I like this card on multiple accounts. I think it could very well be a player in Pioneer going forward. But wait, what is number 1? Number 1 on my list is Harbin Vanguard Aviator. A 2 mana flying 3/2 soldier. If soldiers are going to be a legit tribe into Pioneer, it's going to be on the back of this card. And I think this is one of the foundation core pieces that are going to be a part of soldiers for a long time. It has to be some really good new cards that are entering Pioneer to probably kick this thing out of being a staple in soldiers. And the fact that it's a 2 mana 3/2 flyer is a great line. It can be evasive, hit damage, and if you ever manage to be able to attack with 5 or more soldiers, giving all your guys flying to win a turn, not even caring about the boost, the evasion should help you close out a game. So I definitely think this card is arguably in the top 5, of course. Now, you could definitely skew the top 5 any way you feel, but I definitely feel like these are the top 5. This could be number 2, number 3, I don't know. But I think all 5 of these cards could potentially see a lot of play. Like I said, 1 is a little bit more iffy. That's why I put it at number 4 I believe it's number 4, because Bar Class might see play, might not. Soldiers might see play, so this will definitely be a contributor. Expect to see soldiers on the polls this season for Pioneer. I'm going to try to do a little bit more combo shells, half combo, half fair, because I do think the card pool is getting big, and I feel like the one way to push your way forward with a brand new archetype is a combo strategy, where you have a closing game plan that potentially could help you beat Mono Green or Rakdos mid-range, or even Greasefang, because Greasefang can win on turn 3 or turn 4. So I think we definitely need to push forward different ways of comboing to make new archetypes to be able to combat those top 3. So if you guys have any comments or suggestions on cards that I might have missed, let me know down in the comments. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell notification, please. And if you like the way I did this season's top 10s, please let me know, because I want to get all the feedback. I care about the community and what you guys value out of my content. So until next time, hope you guys have a great rest of your day.